Hello, this is Lisa from Happy Stamp, and today we are going to be making this autumn card with my crooked sentiment on the inside, but that's okay. I'll fix it. No worries. I'm going to be using Hello Harvest and the coordinating die set, and these are in the new holiday mini that we have out right now. I'm also using a piece of the designer series paper, the metallic and shimmer. It's got 3 different pieces in here. It's got this black and white, so you get 4 of each piece. So it's got this black, white, and silver, and then it's got the, I think it's, does it tell me? Evening Evergreen and gold, and then the Cajun Craze, pumpkin pie, Cajun Craze and pumpkin pie in this one. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're also going to be using the new deckled rectangles. I love those for this piece right here. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need a piece of Very Vanilla, just a scrap. I think I have, did I keep the rest of the other one? Thought I did. All right, so just a scrap of Very Vanilla, and then you're going to need another piece of the thick Very Vanilla that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then we're going to use this piece of the designer series paper with the deckled rectangles. I'm going to bring in my Misty here, not my Misty. I've never even had a Misty. My Stamparatus here, and let's see, let's put this in here. I think it's just easier to use this because I want to make sure to get a good impression on this. And I was having a hard time with getting a good impression. So I brought in my Stamparatus, and then no problem at all. So I wanted a little bit of a darker image. So we're going to do a little bit of more memento here. We want to use memento because we're going to be doing some Copic. Well, I am just all over the place. Some blends coloring. All right, so I need to get another one of this little sunflower here. So I'm going to clean this off and leave the other ones where they are. And I've actually got all of these colored already, but I just wanted to show you how I did it. And I will just take this one off. And I'm going to pick that up. And then we will get another one. And that one actually did the job the first time around, so I don't need to do it again. All right. Get that on there so I don't accidentally make a mess of it. All right, so here are the images that I am going to color, and I'm just going to show you like a quick of what I did. These are the blends that I used. Get all this out of here. All right, so that's my lifter in case I need it. For the pumpkin, I used pumpkin pie, and what I did is I took my dark pumpkin pie and I just traced all around the black on the pumpkin, so down the center and all around. And then I also did just these little pieces right here. All right, and then I took my light and I just colored that all in. And I think I need to get another pumpkin pie set because this is awful light to me. But it did the trick, so. But I do think I need to get another set. So I just blended out that all like that. All right, and then for these little pieces right here, I use my dark and light Daffodil Delight. So I just colored in all of the leaves with the light blend. And then I came back in with my dark and just made where the end is where the artist has already told us where the darker part should be. I just put a little dark on there, and then I came again in with the Daffodil Delight. And then I took, for the middles, I took my SU 100 and my SU 200. So first I used the lighter, and I just filled that in. And then I took the darker and just around the outside, I gave it a little bit of dark. And then I came back in with my light and filled that in like that. So that's how I did the sunflowers. And then, let's see, for this one right here, I used my dark and light Old Olive for the leaves, and just basically the same thing, filled them in with a white and then went around with the dark. And then these little flowers right here, I just put a little bit of our Blackberry Bliss on there, and not very much because it doesn't have any of that in anything else, so I didn't want a lot, just a little bit of color. And then these little guys right here that kind of look like I don't know, the dandelions before they're dandelions. I just used my Wink of Stella on those. And then I also used my Wink of Stella in the insides of the little sunflowers. So that is what I did for those. And then I cut them out. And so then we have this. And I did not color the stem at all because that's going to be covered up. And then 2 of those. So that is how I did those. So we will set that aside. Get these all out of the way. All right, so for the card base, I scored that, like I said, at 4 1/4, and then we're just going to give it a good crease with our bone folder to make sure that it lies flat. And I did use the thick Very Vanilla on this one. And before we adhere any of the other elements down, what I did, get out a little scrap piece of paper here, and I took my markers, my many marvelous markers in the Cajun Craze and the pumpkin pie. And we used to have this little thing years ago, and we don't have it any longer. But what you do is, you can still get them. You take your marker and you put that down at the end here and tighten this up. And then this is going to give you some very fine splatter. And all I did is I did that at a diagonal on the card. Now, if you don't have one of these little handy dandy things, all you have to do is take a re-inker, put some of that on a block, mix just a very little bit of water in it, and then take a paintbrush, take a paintbrush and then just flick that over your card, and then that's going to get you splatter. Now, it's not going to be quite as fine as this. This is kind of fine splatter, but it gets the job done. So, and you might like it better with the with more of the splatter on it, with more bigger little splats on it. But that's all I did for that. Maybe they'll come back out with this thingamabob. I don't even know what it's called. All right, so that is all I did for that. All right, put that away here and let that dry for a second. All right, so I'm going to bring out my big machine here and my platforms, and I'm going to take my deckled rectangles. I'm using the second one from the largest. I'm going to take my piece of designer series paper here. Oh, and I want it on this side. I want all the little dots at the bottom is what I'm going for. And then and then after you get all of the coloring done, you're going to take your dies and you're going to cut out all of these pieces here, obviously. All right. All right. That out of the way. All right, and then there is that. So this is going to go on here this way, like this. So I'm just going to take some glue here, and we will glue this to the front. Trying to make sure I have even on all four sides, like that. All right, and then this is going to go here, and then this is going to go up here. So we're going to take some dimensionals here. Let's see what we got. Got lots of minis. See if I have any more of the big ones. Here we go. All right, so we will put some of the regular size on here. I'm going to take this one, and I have some edges over here. So I think I'm going to put the edges over here. And you don't want to put any down here because that is where the pumpkin is going to be. And we'll put another one right there. And then I think I'll put one more right down at the bottom down there. Not at the bottom, at the top. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to lightly press these on here right at the moment. in case I want to move them. I'm not going to give it a good press yet. Make sure. All right. And then we'll take the backings off of this one. And then this is going to go right there. And I'm not pressing that one down very hard either. All right. Then we're going to take these guys and I'm going to get a couple more of the mini ones. Put those in the middle. And I'm just adding that to this just to give it a little more interest. I'll put that one over there. All right, now for the sentiment. Oh, I knew there was a reason. Okay, so forgot. Okay. That's good. But I want to use the Leaf Label and Amber Gems combo pack. And I'm taking 2 of the leaves. I don't know if you noticed that on the other one here. In the background here I have the leaves. So we are going to take that and put that right here. And then the other one is going to go over here. And then this is going to go on top. So we want to definitely make sure. And that's going to overlap a little bit of the top. I'm looking at my sample here just to make sure. Not a lot, just a little. And a little bit over this way as well. All right, so now I can put that on here. And it's going to kind of stick to the dimensionals right there. And then we'll use some glue. To adhere that down, let's put a little bit more over here. All right. I did this last minute on my other one, so I'm not surprised that I forgot about it. All right. All right, so that'll hold here, and then the glue will hold on the paper. While we're letting that dry, I am using some gold embossing powder. This little embossing tray kit here comes with this tray, paintbrush that you can use to brush off your excess embossing powder, and embossing buddy, and these tweezers. This comes as a set like that. All right. So we're going to take the embossing buddy. It already has some on it, but it's not going to hurt it. And I'm going to put some powder on there. I don't need to do it in there right at the moment. I'm going to take the hello that is in the set and my Versamark. And we will ink that up. And we will try and stamp that straight, but I'm going to have to cut it down anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that goes there. Now you take your tray You're going to take your gold embossing powder. I have a little spoon in mine. Now you can put your embossing powder that I just spilled, I see, over here. But it's gonna catch, I don't know why I did that. It's gonna catch all of the stray embossing powder. And then you can open up this little end right here and you can funnel it all back in there. Now, if I had gotten any extra, I can use this to clean it up, but it looks like I did pretty good. And I'm just gonna get rid of this here. All right, I'm gonna close this up so that I do not spill it. I'm gonna get this out of the way for the moment. All right, now you're gonna bring in your heat tool and you're gonna put it on number 2 to let it get a little warm. And then you're going to bring that to your paper, and as soon as you see that the powder has melted, you move it. I'm heating it a little bit from the back. And as soon as you see that it's melted, you stop. All right. I'm going to bring in my little trimmer here. You want to make sure that this is cool, because if it's warm or hot, and it dries almost immediately. So just gonna cut that off. I'm just kind of using this as my edge right here. All right, that's going to give it a good edge all around. Wonder if it looks a little, let me see here. I think it looks, good enough. All right. And I'm just going to take my brush here and I'm going to brush off all of the extra embossing buddy powder. You could take a Swiffer sheet and do the same thing. All right, so that's going to go right down here. So let's use up the rest of my edge here. Put that right here. And that's gonna go right here. See if I can get it straight. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna take the Baker's Twine Essential Pack, and I am using this Berry Vanilla that we have in here. I'm going to use my bow maker, and I'm going to make a double bow. All right. Just like that. Okay. Get my ribbon scissors and put this away. Then I'm going to take a glue dot here. going to kind of fold it up. I'm going to put that on the back of my knot, and I'm just going to set that right about here. You can just kind of smoosh that bow right under there, and then we will fluff out our bow here just a little bit. All right, then let me take my scissors and just give it a little bit, take a little bit off there. All right, just like that. All right, now for the amber gems. I'm gonna take those. All right, so we want to make sure that we cover up these little holes in here because these are actually tags. So we don't want the holes on the leaves. So I'm putting one right here, one right here, and then we'll do another one, I guess right in here is where I did it. All right, just like that. All right, now for the inside. So for the inside, I took my Cajun Craze and I used You Are Such a Blessing right here. I'm going to try and get it straight this time. I'm using my grid paper, the lines on my grid paper, to hopefully get that straight. I never get my inside sentiments straight for the most part, so I'm not surprised about it. I'm going to ink that up in my Cajun Craze. And then that's going to go in the middle. Oh, not too bad. All right, then I took another piece from the bottom of the Designer Series paper. I just cut off a 1/2 inch down here, and we're going to put that just down at the bottom. Using liquid glue, that way I can wiggle it around to make sure I get it right at the bottom. Just like that. All right, and if I have anything hanging over, which I may just have just a tad, you can, no, just cut that off with your snips. All right, so I have, here's the one that I just did, and then here is the one that I did earlier. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on here with the Winkasala, but yeah, I think it's really pretty. I really like it. I like the splatter just going up just a little bit, and I just think it's really pretty. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them. All supplies can be purchased through my online store at happystamp.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.